Hey everybody, Richard Trummins here again, Artificial Lawyer TV. Today we're doing another product walkthrough. This time with Lupl, a company that you've probably heard of, but they've come on leaps and bounds since they started. To tell us a bit more about what they're up to these days is Ab. Hey Ab, good to have you on the show.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks for having us. And hello to everyone watching. My name is Abhijat Saraswat. I'm the Chief Revenue Officer here at Lupl, joined by my colleague, India Preston, who is the Director of Customer Success. And between the two of us, we spend pretty much most of our time talking to law firms and to lawyers about Lupl. So I'm going to talk for about a minute and a half just to let you know what Lupl is, who it's for, and really why we exist. And then India is going to focus on showing you what it looks like from the life in a day. So at a very high level, Lupl is a task and project management tool for law firms. We help everyone from partners to paralegals in managing their work more effectively. What's traditionally done using Excel trackers and Word tables, and increasingly with things like Microsoft Planner, that's really where we sit. And a big reason for why we've shot up in popularity has been the volume of work continues to increase and the complexity of work continues to increase. That means that more and more, everyone has to keep more information in their brain. And that's just a challenge. So lawyers get frustrated because they move from very static systems, their spreadsheets and tables, to something sometimes a bit more dynamic like Microsoft Planner. But it's not designed for legal professionals. It doesn't have the integrations, and it makes you and it forces you to really think like a project manager. And that's where we come in. We simplify the whole process. But with all of that in mind, let me pass to India, who will actually show you what that looks like in practice.
Thanks, Ab. Hi, everyone. Thanks for watching. The best way to understand this is to see it. So I'm going to show you around. At its simplest, Lupl provides task management for lawyers. Lawyers spend their days managing documents, deadlines, third parties, clients, reporting. Whether they like it or not, they are project managers of their client matters. But when someone asks them what's the status of this task, who's working on this document, when's the deadline, it takes time to find the information, make sure it's up to date, and respond. That information might be in a Word table, an Excel spreadsheet, an email, tools that weren't specifically designed to organize and manage a lawyer's workload or integrate with their workflows. They don't remind you when your tasks are becoming due. They aren't collaborative tools. They mostly rely on one person to keep everything up to date. They don't connect to any of the other tools that you're using, like your DMS. They can't automate workflows or generate customized reports. That's the problem that Lupl solves. It helps lawyers to know exactly who is doing what, when it's due, and how it's going. And it goes even further than that. It automates lawyers' workflows, it standardizes their processes, and it encourages continuous improvement in the way that they work. Lupl is a matter-based platform. It's use case agnostic, so it can be used for any matter type, and it's suitable for both the simple and the complex. So whether it's a dispute, an acquisition, a sale of commercial real estate, a funds transfer, an internal project or initiative, Lupl can help to keep it organized, visible, and on track. I'm showing you the account of Flora Tucker. Flora is an associate at a law firm called Mid-Atlantic Law. She's working on an acquisition in her team right now called Project Sicily. Now, Flora is working on this matter with a few others in her team. They're working on a number of different buckets of work, some of which are taking place simultaneously. So Flora's not just managing her own tasks, she's also responsible for making sure that all the moving parts align and the matter gets delivered on time. So she's using workstreams over here to keep everything on track. Workstreams are task lists or tables for tracking what needs to be done or key information on the matter. This first workstream contains a number of tasks, which she's delegated to different team members. And each task has an assignee, a specific deadline, and a progress status. Where some tasks require more granularity, she's added some steps that the person assigned to the task can check off to show what's been done. Lupl starts to notify people as their tasks become due, which makes Flora's life much easier, less nudging and prompting from her, and it gives a sense of ownership and certainty to the person completing the task. There's information in here that helps others in the matter too. You can see that Flora's added some additional columns to these tasks. You can add, amend, and remove columns to your work streams to really tailor it to your use case each time. So if you need to track signatories to documents, parties, currency values, ID numbers, as lawyers often do, there are a number of column types to choose from that can do that. They help to structure your data and tie your information together. So the additional columns that Flora's added include a links column for URLs, so links to data rooms, shared calendars, knowledge guides, or templates, which usually get buried in emails or forgotten about. There's also a column here for live documents. Lupl integrates natively with your DMS, whether that's iManage, NetDocs, SharePoint, or others. The integration surfaces the latest version of the document from the DMS while respecting the underlying permissions and ethical rules set by your firm. It means your DMS continues to be the single source of truth when it comes to versioning. It means that the only people in your matter who can interact with the document are the people who have been granted access from the DMS. And importantly, it means your team doesn't have to worry about where their documents are. They're directly linked to their tasks. And this really sets Lupl apart from other tools that your lawyers are using today. So Flora is managing some key items in the kickoff and structuring stage of this matter. As work streams become more complex with more rows and more columns, Flora might rely on other ways to view the information in front of her. Grouping, so effective for simplifying and viewing very targeted information within a complex work stream. It adds a new dimension to the task rather than just viewing one long list. We have advanced filters available. And in team meetings, Flora chooses to view her work streams as a board. She can quickly move items by dragging them across from one status to another.
And all of this is connected together, so it feels less like a chore and more of a living, breathing document and system. And all of that has just been focusing on how do I track what's already in Lupl. What we're going to move on now is looking at how do I actually bring information into Lupl, because there's a number of different ways to be able to do that.
Thanks, Ab. So Lupl provides for the easy collection of information from multiple external parties. This is particularly useful for multi-jurisdictional reviews, gathering witness or expert information, and for collecting client feedback. Flora is managing a number of local counsel and other third parties on her matter, and she usually gathers fee quotes, weekly fee updates, and advice from them via email, which is really manual with a lot of back and forth, and the process relies really heavily on her to maintain quite a large Excel tracker. Instead, Flora's set up another workstream in Lupl with some different columns this time for key information that she needs to collect from local counsel. Rather than asking for this via email, she can share a Lupl form for them to complete. So every workstream in Lupl has the option to create a form, which then would look like this. When they do, the contents of their submission automatically updates in Flora's matter. And better, Flora can ask them to resubmit their form to update the same entry with whip updates or fresh advice in the future. So in doing it this way, Flora is saving herself between 30 and 40 email exchanges and manual Excel updates per local counsel. Big time saver. There are other ways to get information into Lupl as well. When a new phase of work comes in, Flora might import via Excel or Word from a pre-existing checklist. You can email directly into them. For some of Flora's colleagues, they prefer to work from Teams and Copilot, where they spend a lot of their day. If someone messages Flora in Teams, she can add tasks directly from Teams into Lupl. Or if she's working in Copilot, she can seek help from Copilot to keep her up to date or help her prepare for upcoming meetings. When Flora receives a new instruction via email, she can use the Lupl Outlook add-in to quickly add the task to her matter.
And I think the Outlook thing is especially relevant to just highlight because so much of the work happens today in inboxes. It begins and ends in an inbox. And we wanted to make sure not just in Outlook, but also the other M365 applications were connected there. So especially for partners, they're able to delegate without having that disruption to their workflow. We hear this a lot. I I get information from a client directly through email, and I need to be able to provide that information to the associates. How do I do that without leaving and switching tabs or going to another system? So with the Outlook integration, you're able to do that. And as you can see on the screen, it includes all of the relevant information. You're able to assign it to an individual, set deadlines, and have the relevant context all in one place. And that comes into Lupl, and it has all of the other benefits that India shared earlier, like reminders and making sure that you're able to then attach it to documents in your DMS and otherwise as well.
Flora's really close to the detail on her matter, and she has a great grasp of exactly what's happening in her work streams. But there are others like matter partners and the client who require more of a high-level glance at what's going on. So Flora can use matter dashboards to help keep them up to date. These dashboards surface information from your work streams. They are widget-based, highly customizable, and exportable. Depending on your priorities, you can focus on what's been completed, what's upcoming, progress, key dates, specific team members, or the distribution of work. You can set up multiple dashboards for different users, whether that's internal, client-facing, or maybe even workstream specific. Flora used to spend a lot of time putting together weekly updates to her team and the client. Often it required a lot of nudging for updates and gathering information, a lot of time spent manually updating tables in an email. There was plenty of room for error, and it was nearly always last thing on a Friday when she just wanted to go home. The Lupl has automations built in, which mean that Flora can now set up an automated update that emails the team weekly with a summary of the status of the matter at the end of the week. That's saving Flora a huge amount of time, a huge amount of stress, and it's helping to make each individual on the matter accountable for their own work. You can do lots with automations. You can build in automated workflows to suit your requirements. Flora has an approvals workflow in here. You can set custom reminders or alerts. So, for example, when certain budget thresholds have been met, you can generate agendas ahead of upcoming meetings or input recurring tasks. The possibilities are endless, and it saves an enormous amount of time. And of course, automations can be completely customized to suit your use case. We have some pre-built recipes in here for you to get you started. Now, everything I've shown you so far can be added and saved into a template. The work streams, the dashboards, the automations. Templates are pre-built matters, and Flora's firm have created a number of these already. This means users can start new matters with pre-populated content based on the firm's best practices, precedents, and knowledge. Templates can be developed over time across multiple versions. It's a great way to download knowledge from your lawyers, ensure everyone's using the right templates, the right procedures, and provide a consistent, predictable service to your clients. It's a really popular way for knowledge and innovation teams to get started in Lupl, linking existing checklists, documents, and best practice together and making it available to everyone in your team. To wrap up, I just wanted to make a final note on AI. We've integrated AI throughout the platform to help lawyers get started really quickly and to keep up to date. You can create matters with AI, dropping an engagement letter, for example, or adding a prompt into our matter builder. And Lupl will put together a matter for you, complete with work streams and tasks. You can use AI in your automations to help you with summarizing or surfacing key information, risks, or updates that can be shared with your team. But more often than not, the biggest issue day to day is just knowing what you need to focus on next or what's changed in the last day or two. And that's where Lupl AI can help. It can grab that information for you whenever you need it. It can help you to action changes like updating deadlines that have shifted or reassigning tasks to other team members without you having to find that information first in your matters. It can help you with resource management by reviewing the balance of tasks assigned to a pool of people in your team. We're integrating AI to enable lawyers like Flora to ask Lupl the questions that she's so often asked about the status of things on her matters, and to reduce the work about work, the busy work that occupies much of her working day. That's Lupl. And there's much more to it than that, of course. But thank you for watching. Back to you, Ab.
Yeah, and actually, I'll hand back to you, Richard. I know we shared a lot. My big ask is this was a teaser. So hopefully it provides some thinking space for all of your audience members, and happy to go deeper into anything in particular with them. And for us, it's really, really important to help people answer the question of how do I manage this work? How do I spend less time on doing the work about work and more time on substantive legal work, especially as the workload increases? But yeah, happy to answer any questions you might have.
Yeah, no, thank you. Just to wrap up, really, just one question, really, very simple one, which is if someone's watching this and they like what they see, how do they get it? How do they bring this into the firm?
Yeah, I think a good starting point would be to email us. They can get in touch with me, India, and the rest of the team just by emailing sales@lupl.com. Usually from there, we want to go and explore the use cases for them, which is the right practice to begin with, or how do we approach and how this is approached today at the firm. So we can set up demos as well as workshops with them. And yeah, we're a completely global team. So I'm in the US, India's in the UK. So we're happy to support different time zones and geographies as needed.
Fantastic. Thank you to India. Thank you, Ab. And as Ab mentioned, there's plenty more that you can find out, and you will see text above and below this video. But that's all we have time for today. Thank you very much.